I want to continue our teaching about the 40,000 millionaires in America in the next 7 months as a result of the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 bill known as the American Rescue Plan that was signed on yesterday. Or that was voted on yesterday by the House by a completely bipartisan nature, 220 votes for and 211 votes against, and will be signed tomorrow by Joe Biden, my time, with Kamala Black Harris standing at his right side as he signs the bill into law. $1.9 trillion will be introduced into the American economy, which is going to make a lot of people rich, because the bill is actually written in such a way, unbelievably, unprecedentedly, that the monies of that $1.9 trillion can really, for the most part, in a legal way, be only allocated to poor people. For instance, the $1,400 stimulus check that will be mailed to individuals and families can only be mailed to people or received by people who earn $75,000 or less. If you earn more than that, bam, you're out of luck. So this bill is pretty much in all the other items of the bill. There are four or five other major segments of the bill I'm going to cover over the next couple of weeks that also have that same kind of $75,000, if you will, criteria or a level of poverty in order for you to apply for these funding. But as a result of that, there's potentially as many as 40,000 millionaires can come from this $1.9 trillion that's going to be dumped into the American economy. But let me say something to you. That this money in America is going to be rich starting the 1st of April. Everybody and their brother going to have money. Everybody's going to be rich. Everybody going to be rich. But it's only going to last for 7 months. But the problem is this, and Larry Summers, who I don't necessarily give a lot of credit to, but I do believe him as opposed to Janet Yellen. Larry Summers was once the chair of Federal Reserve chair. He was also the president of Harvard University until somebody said something negative about a woman and they kicked him out of Harvard. But Larry Summers, I think, is a credible, economist who says that this money will create inflation. Now, in the event you aren't aware of what inflation means, it means simply this, that when you pour a lot of money into an economy, the demand for products will go up, and as demand goes up, prices go up. As demand goes down, prices go down. So let's say, for instance, you were buying a lawnmower. And once the lawn, at normal, regular, stable, if you will, economic times, the lawnmower costs $200, right? And then inflation comes in and everybody's buying lawnmowers, then the prices of lawnmowers will go up. And the price of lawnmowers, generally inflation starts when the prices reach at least a 20% increase over normality. Now a lawnmower that costs you $200 will now cost you $240, and you can't buy them cheaper. Moreover, no sales. The people don't put things on sale when everybody got money. So why I'm saying this $1.9 trillion and the 40,000, well, I'll talk about 40,000 millionaires on a different cover, only lasts for 7 months, because by Christmas time, there's going to be so much money, so much buying in America, so many products being sold, children going to have thousands of dollars. That is going to cause prices to go up. It's going to cause inflation. So the prices will then rise to the point where even though you got the money, it isn't buying you any more than it bought you before you got the money because prices are so high. I pray you can get that. I don't have to explain it a second time. But inflation will eat away your money. In other words, it would just bring things right back down to normality and prices will go through the roof. You'll need a truckload of dollar bills to buy a loaf of bread. Where you used to buy a loaf of bread, and if inflation gets completely out of hand, where you could buy a loaf of bread, let's say, for $3, now a loaf of bread will cost you $12. Yeah, you got the money, you got the stimulus checks, you got all kind of other stuff, but it costs you more money to buy, so you're not any better off than you were before the stimulus package passed. That's what Larry Summers and a lot of other economists are saying will happen, and I agree. And so that money that you're going to get, according to Larry Summers, is only going to be good for 7 months. And if you don't make the best use of it in 7 months, it's all going to be over with. Then it's all for naught. But I believe that in the next 7 months, there'll be, 40,000 new millionaires are going to happen as a result of the things I say, because, I say things all the time that would help people, but they're not going to listen to it because they're hearing it from me. But there will be a few people that are in our congregation that are going to become millionaires because they're going to listen to what I say. They're going to get over everything else that they deal with in terms of their own spirituality, and then they're going to be able to adapt to what I'm saying and become millionaires. And if you don't do it within the next 7 months, then the chances will be, by the year 2022, even though you'll get the money, it will not be possible to actually access the status of a millionaire. But in this $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, only poor people can apply. Now, there's something very interesting I want to at least explain today that I'm now clear of, is that there's going to be a child tax credit that's already in it. The bill is signed. The bill is passed by both houses. Joe Biden, my time, has to sign it. But in that bill is a child tax credit. Let me tell you what I mean by that. First of all, families of a husband and wife making under $150,000, both of them are going to get a check for $1,400. And each child under 18 years of age are going to get a check also. Right? So potentially a household of 3 or 4 children can get as much as $5,000 by the end of April. $5,000 that nobody expected to have is going to be in the household of if you're in less than $75,000 a year. But it doesn't stop there. There also is written in the bill a child tax credit. What do you mean by that? Well, it means this. If you have children, if a husband and wife have children and they qualify by making less than $75,000 or less than $150,000 jointly per year, and they have a child that's under 6 years of age, the bill now declares that that child under 6 years of age will be given $3,600 a year until they reach the age of 6. Once they reach the age of 6, the amount will be reduced from $3,600 a year. Ostensibly, the $3,600 a year would be for child care, daycare, and other kinds of things. Even though the person's got a job, the family, both husband and wife are working, the government is going to give $3,600 per year for that child. Now, once that child reaches 6 years of age, the amount will be reduced from $3,600 to $3,000 for the rest of their life until they reach 16. Not for the rest of their life. So from 6 to 16, for the next 10 years, that family with that child will get an additional $3,000 a year, with $3,600 a year if the child is under 6 years of age. And then $3,000 a year will be given to that family every year for those children. Let's say we have one of our engineers here, his name is Captain LaFleur, right? He's got 4 children, right? And they're all under 16. He's going to get a check for each one of those children. His wife is going to get a check. He's going to get a check, right? They're going to have over $5,000 very shortly. But not just that. Then the government, starting in either April or May, will start allocating to his younger son, who's under 6, $3,600 allocations over the period of a month, over a period of 12 months. You break that down to $300 per month, I think will be where it works out. And then he has 3 other children over 6 years of age. They're going to get $3,000. So effectively, what the captain is going to get now, he's going to get the stimulus checks, but now the bill says that he and his wife and their 4 children are going to get an additional $12,500 per year every year. That's not a part of their income, not from the job that they work at. They're just going to get it because they have children. $12,500 a year, his income is going to rise. It's called lifting poverty, lifting children out of poverty. That's what it's called. And that $12,000 that they get when they do their taxes will not be taxable income. That way, in the bill, it's called the child tax credit. So everyone with children can expect now to get an increase. You got 3, 4 children. Your income is going to automatically go up an additional $12,000 a year. Now, inflation is going to take it away. 7 months later, inflation is going to make everything so expensive, it'll cost you 3 times as much to buy stuff. But however, if a person like Captain LaFleur will make wise decisions, first of all, with the money that he gets and the stimulus checks, and also the child tax credit he gets because he has children, and over the next 7 months began to use that money wisely, which I will discuss on another cover, not now. Before inflation sets in, he can offset inflation by the investment that he's going to make. But when you look at that across America, families that are now going to get anywhere from $9,000 to $12,000 instantly added to their annual income, and it won't be taxable when they make their tax report, it's going to float a lot of money in America. You're going to see a lot of people going to Burger King. You're going to see a lot of people, out shopping, going in the shopping mall. You're going to see people spending their money like you ain't never seen before. This thing is coming down the road. It is intriguing to watch. Now, I need to let you know we're in the tribulation. Let me say that. And inflation is coming. You have a window of 7 months where it seems that the tribulation will be stalled economically. But after that, it's going to get worse. If you don't make the right investments, if LaFleur does not make the right investments, does not use that money the appropriate way in terms of investments to offset the prices of things, children's clothing is going to go up 30%. Food at the supermarket, at Costco's, is going to go up 30%. So it'll be like the government giveth and the government taketh away, is what it will be. But you got 7 months before the taking away sets in. And once the taking away sets in, the thing that Larry Summers, one of the world's, I think, great economists, says that once the taking away starts, there's no guarantee where it's going to stop. That is to say that once the taking away starts, right now the offset 20%, if there was 20% worth of inflation, then that will be back down to normal to where we are right now. Even though you're getting more money, you're spending more to get the same goods. But if the inflation doesn't stop at 20% and rises to 40%, then it drives into the poorhouse. And I think that's what a lot of the economists are telling Joe Biden: don't pass this bill, but it's going to pass. Because who knows where inflation will start. And my guess is this, is that it won't stop at an equality of where we are now, where you just have to spend more money. Though you're getting more money, you have to spend no money, so you're breaking even. I don't think it's going to break even. I believe by the time we get to January and February of 2022, inflation could be at 30%. Now you're going broke. Now you're poor. Now you'll be cussing Joe Biden out for passing the bill, because now you got less money to spend. It's going to get crazy. Inflation can get ridiculous. You can be paying $12 for a loaf of bread that now costs $3. However, it is my intent to discuss with those who have an ear to hear offsets to that process by investing in property or businesses that will help you to be able to begin to earn money with the money. You don't take the money that they give you, the $5,000 you're going to get, you and your family, Flo and his wife are going to get, and all that. Don't take it and then go on a shopping spree. Take it and invest it. If you take it and go on a shopping spree, it's gone. But if you take it and invest it, and then the child credit money that's going to start coming to you as a check each week or each month to all the children, don't take it and go out and do a spending spree. Keep your life normal the way it is. Take that money and invest it. That's how you're going to become a millionaire. Well, how do you do that? Well, first of all, you have the investment process. Now you got a foundation over the next 7 months to a year, where you've got an additional $15,000 to $20,000 of income coming into your house. Don't go out and spend it. Go to a small business or get together where I'll talk about the formation of corporations, where a group of people with $20,000 can then go to the Small Business Association and open up a restaurant that may have closed because somebody died of COVID-19, or a restaurant that closed because the restaurant businesses fail, or not barbershops, but other businesses fail within the local economy, and the owner just isn't going to open it up back more. But once the money comes out there, and if you can open up quickly enough, which I'm going to have some private sessions, you can open up quickly enough, be in court, and the money from the Small Business Association will be given just like that. You demonstrate that you're poor, demonstrate that you qualify, and you'll get the money like in 3 days. And you can borrow as much as $1 million, $2 or $3 million for business purposes. Biden wants to stimulate the economy. The money going to flow like water. And when you open the business, you can offset because there's going to be a lot of spending. And then, of course, come January, February, March of next year, a year from now, things are going to tank. The bottom's going to fall out of it, and people are going to be in a worse financial condition than they are right now, and they may never return. However, if you invest, you'll have a stability. You'll have a source of income that you use the money not to go out and buy a whole lot of new dresses and new items, but you use the money as an investment, the tax credit money, and you use the small business loans. The other thing that's going to happen in inflation is when the prices go up, interest rates go up. Right now, interest rates are lower than dirt. You can borrow money for next to nothing. Debt service costs you nothing. You can borrow $1 million at 2-3 points per million. That's cheap money. Inflation, meaning that your payment, well, let's say you borrow $1 million, your payment is like, I don't know, $15,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month on $1 million loan, right? Because the interest rate is so low. You borrow $1 million once we get post this period into the inflation. You borrow $1 million. The interest rate moves from 2% to 7%. Your payment now goes from what was normally $12,000 a year or $12,000 a month to $17,000 per month on the same loan. You still only got $1 million, but now you're paying $5,000 more in interest. Inflation, not only do prices go up, but interest goes up. And it can kill a society. And again, Larry Summers and some other economists are saying that this is a bad idea. I don't know. I'm not ready to say it's a bad idea yet to put the $1 trillion out there, but I do believe it's going to create inflation. And not so much that Larry Summers says it, but I believe that it will be a weapon of the tribulation. And once inflation, you can't borrow money. Then foreclosures happen. Once you can't borrow money and you can't buy, businesses close, houses close, mortgages are foreclosed. It's going to be a very difficult time. However, I do think you can maneuver this if done the right way. I'll talk more about that. There's also money in this bill to cover your rent and utilities. Let's say, for instance, you're behind a month in your rent. There's a place where it will be established with state government where you can go make an application. And let's say you say, well, okay, I'm behind in my rent, but 4 months ago, I borrowed money from my father or from the pastor or from the church to pay my rent because I didn't have it. So I'm not just 1 month behind, I'm 5 months behind. So I need to borrow 5 months worth. I need this COVID bill to give me 5 months of rent so I can pay back the people I borrowed money from. So they say your rent's $1,000 a month, right? And you're behind right now. Well, you make an application for $5,000, being behind. And the same thing with your utility bills. Our utility bills at the church are outrageous, crazy. In fact, the man from Con Edison came there. They said, y'all using a lot of electricity now. What's going on? You're going to have to take out the old system of bringing electrical power and put in a brand new system. It cost you, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000 to put in a brand new system. Anyway, we're going to look and see about if we can't do that. I'm going to examine as to whether or not, because we use a lot of power, electrical power. I'm going to see whether or not, and I don't generally go for government money, but I'm going after this one. I'm going to have, our people look at making an application to Con Edison to put in a brand new, tear out the way our electricity comes from the street into this building and through the meters and then conducted, and to get a brand new and modern system that could cost us $30,000. Get the money from the government to pay for it. It's all there. It's crazy. And generally, I don't go down this road. You know I don't go down this road. I don't see it as getting government money. I see it as, making an opportunity for people saying, well, if you'll keep your business open, educate children, here's the money. Same thing for the school. But you might want to, homeowners might want to do the same thing. I know Elder McFarquhar was telling me about his house. He rewired it electric, put a new he rewired the whole house. I don't know if he can go and get money now, for what he did, let's say a year ago. But he also had a fire in his house. And let's say you got an old building, right? And it needs to be rewired, like our church needs to be rewired. Well, there's money in this bill for new utilities. The whole idea is, well, that new and more efficient and effective utilities will allow you to save energy. We're going to make an application for a brand new heating system, brand new boiler. I don't generally go down this road. I don't. But I'm going to do this one. No, I'm going to do this one. No, I'm going to do this one. And we'll make an application to the Rent and Utilities Division, whether we have to go through them or the small business loan, and get a whole new, put in new system, new boiler, new electrical systems throughout our entire property. I'm going to do it. But here, what I think the most profitable thing for people to do is try to figure out a way to co-op to buy property. The most stable investment you can make is to buy housing, and especially here in the Harlem area. Right now, the income, the rents and people involved, the gentrification prop idea in Harlem is assuaging. Harlem is not such a hot idea anymore in terms of gentrification, though a lot of plans were put in place going back 7, 8 years ago to acquire property, get loans to build buildings, and those are beginning to materialize. But interest in Harlem is dying. Don Lemon and his lover left Harlem a couple of weeks ago. Hundreds of other people are leaving Harlem. It just didn't turn out. So now you're going to have all this property that is going to be for sale. And I'm encouraging people to look carefully at co-opting together, forming corporations, either through church ties or family ties, and then making an application to the Small Business Association for the stabilization and purchasing of properties. For instance, 4 families, buy a 4-family house. And by 4-family, I don't mean you're going to be living on top of one another in terms of, you'll have your ample space. You won't even know you're living in the same house with your relatives. Because the houses, the brownstones and 4-family houses are so huge here in the community. I'll be going over this more in detail as we go along. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to talk to people who got other ideas. I can tell you this, the other thing is going to happen. Many Republicans are not going to apply for these fundings. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it because Donald Trump is against it. Now, you go figure that. But I can tell you they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it because no Republican senator or congressperson, House representative person, voted for this bill. So as a result of it, poor people in West Virginia and Mississippi and Arkansas, they're not going to ask for this money. Now, they'll probably take the checks if the checks come to them. But that'll be a small segment of people. I don't think that the majority of Republicans are not going to, but they're not going to do it because they're going to say it's Democratic, it's Biden's money, and we don't want to make him look good, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let me quickly say this as well. The thing that's unique about this bill is that prisoners, people in prison, are going to get checks. That's right. People in prison, like all over America, are going to get checks, especially depending on when they were sent to prison. But they're going to get checks. And most of them are going to get $1,400 checks because they sure ain't making more than $75,000 a year in prison. So most of them are going to get $1,400 checks. Now, the checks will most probably be mailed to their last address. They're not going to be mailed to 135 State Street, Auburn State Prison, 135 State Street in Auburn, New York. I don't think you'll see any checks going there, but they're going to go to their last residence. Either their woman or their mother or their family members are going to get the checks. And I'm encouraging the, family members to do right, do right by the prisoner. But I'm also encouraging the prisoners to do right by the family. If you got children out there, Don't ask them to put that money into your account in prison, and you go out there and start buying dope inside the prison, because now you got $1,400 of money. $1,400 in prison is like having $14 million in prison. I'm asking the prisoners to do right, and we'll continue to make those statements from the pulpit of power because prisoners, and a lot of money going to go into prisons. The idea as well is, I would suggest that prison, if you're going to get money, it ought to go to help your children and benefit for them. But not just prisoners are going to be able to get $1,400 checks. They're also going to be eligible for benefits, certainly health benefits. And I need to read the bill. I haven't read it. It's 600 pages long, but I'll look carefully at this segment as well. But I suspect within that bill, prisoners are going to be able to get better health care and probably outside health care. Here's what I mean. Right now, you don't have to always go to a doctor's office to get diagnosed. Did you know that? For hearing aid, for glasses, for buying a pair of pants, or blood pressure, or other kinds of things, you can simply do that on your cell phone now. Did you know that? Yeah, you can. On computer, you don't have to run to a doctor. So I'll be looking at carefully how prisoners who can have access to a computer can order glasses and get them, because you are not excluded from these funds if you're a prisoner. It's nowhere in the bill. At least I don't think so. That is to say, let's say you're in prison and you need a new pair of glasses, that you can go on computer and you can order glasses. They can look in your eyes and tell what you need right there on the computer. You're in the prison. You're in the prison library. And you can order the glasses. The health care program that's going to be a part of this COVID-19 1.9 American Rescue Plan will not ask you if you're in prison. They'll just pay for it, and the glasses will be mailed to wherever you tell them to be mailed to. In addition to that, I'm going to look at the potential of including legal monies to be dispersed for legal purposes. Here, let's say, for instance, a woman, a mother, she's got her husband's in prison. She's got 3 children, right? She and her husband can qualify. Being behind bars does not stop him from qualifying the same way a husband and a wife who are both out on the street. Let's say she wants to buy a house or she wants to rent an apartment, right? She does not have to be ashamed of the fact that her husband's in prison and now she's out there by herself. This bill is written in such a way, and I'm going to read it now and give you the details about this, but this bill is written in such a way as that no questions are asked about whether you're in prison or not. That is to say, you can apply for money. Your wife can even apply to open up a business, and you can manage it from prison. I mean, this thing is very interesting. I've never seen anything like it. I'm suspicious of it, however. But I'm going to go. No, I've never seen anything like this before. We're in the tribulation, there's no doubt about it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with applying for and getting the cash. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting the cash. I don't see it. If I thought, you know me, you know Manning. If I thought there was something wrong with taking the cash, I'd say so. I see this as a great opportunity for people, but they got to have their head screwed on right, to take that cash and buy up a lot of houses here in Harlem and open up a lot of businesses. The problem is most people, your family members, so crazy, so Black Lives Matter, so racist as hell, that you won't be able to jiggy with them. And so that makes it difficult to have that happen. But I don't see anything wrong with using this to own homes and businesses. Or get a bit, I'm telling you, if a husband's in prison, he can manage that business from prison. He can be a managing agent or telling the wife daily what to do, how to market. I find this a very interesting time. Generally, I don't go down this road. We're still in the tribulation, mind you. Let me caution you as well. You only have about 7 months before inflation sets in, and inflation going to eat up every dollar you get from the government. And you'll be right back where you were. And potentially, if inflation can't be stopped, you're going to be worse off this time next year than you are right now before the bill was passed. Those are the risks that are associated with this $1.9 trillion COVID-19 American Rescue Plan bill. Stay tuned, everybody. I'm going to be teaching about this, inform members of the ATLAH Church that we are giving instructions, and then we're going to have some closed-door meetings to further look at development. When those checks come in, and they're going to start coming in the next couple of weeks, don't run out and start spending money, crowding up the shopping malls and catching COVID-19. Sit tight until further words. I'm James David Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. This is symbolic. It's where Jesus was baptized. It's where John baptized. And so this is not a rebaptism. It's just a symbolic, if you will, act of what we're going to do, being in the water at the place where Jesus was baptized. And what I'd like to do is to baptize today that we would come to terms with the understanding of what God is calling for in righteousness. He's not calling for prosperity. He isn't calling for culturalism. God is calling for righteousness. If we would commit ourselves to fulfill all righteousness, and God has called us to be persecuted for righteousness' sake, as John was persecuted for righteousness, and so Jesus. I got to tell you that I'll never forget this experience of actually stepping in the water where Jesus were baptized, and where John has baptized so many people. This is such a historic and a powerful, powerful sight. Just to touch the water was so critical. And I'm glad that people got baptized to have that experience. It was a safe experience and a great experience. I'm not even going to change my clothes. I want to just stay in baptism mode until I get back to the hotel. So that's what I want to say. All right.
This has been live from the Jordan River. God bless you all. Peace.
Righteousness. Boom, chakalaka goes right there.
My mother started liking the school and let me come here every single year. It has been 5 years and now I'm in the 7th grade. I still love the school. It has taught me a lot of things about the world and all around it, and let me see things I've never seen before, like me participating in the history fair last year. I would like to give thanks to all my classmates for making me feel comfortable and at home here. Please, to all the new and old parents in the school, don't take your kids out of the school, because it will probably be the biggest mistake you've ever made. No matter what type of child you have, this school will shape it into a world leader. So do yourselves a favor. Oh my goodness. Okay. So do yourselves a favor and keep your kids here till they graduate, and it will change yours and your child's life. Peace and blessings.
Over the years, we have served more than 1 million meals to hungry bellies and hungry people here in the Harlem community. And I wanted you to be able to see that. I want you to see our involvement with youth, our summer youth programs, our courtyard being used as a place where children can be safe, guarded, and protected as they have their miniature swimming pools. And a safe place for children to eat that is guarded, that is protected by our own sense of security, and the wholesome and fresh meals that we serve. We wanted you to be able to see the mission of this church, and we've been doing this for years. Just recently, one of our members, more than a 30-year member of this church, but it hasn't, not one that that you would probably find as members of some other churches with their nose stuck up in the air. But her father is now close to death or very sick in the state of South Carolina. And I said to her, well, because she doesn't have money. I said, we will buy you a bus ticket, a round trip bus or train ticket for you to travel to South Carolina to be with your father in this time of pandemic. There's very little funding around. There's sickness everywhere. And the thing that just blew me away was she said, as she was talking to Elizabeth, she said, but how are you going to do that, to pay for me a round-trip ticket to travel and give me expense money? And because Pastor Manning has to feed the children, he has to educate the children, he has to buy school supplies for them, he has to pick them up in the mornings and take them back. And then he's got the ministry he has to take care of, all the bills of running the church, of keeping a major house like our house operational, keep the lights on, how are you going to be able to do that? And she was almost reluctant to take the money because she felt that it would be better served by feeding the children. We gave it to her anyway. But we want you to know that we do a work in this community. There have been a lot of lies told on us. And it's almost unimaginable why some of the people that have lied on us. But I can tell you behind all of it is the LGBTQ community. Hallelujah. They don't want us to be successful, but we are, and we're going to continue to be successful in serving the meals that we're serving and serving the people that we are. And the LGBTQ community will not take us down. They are not going to take our church. Yet they've defamed us. They've written ugly newspaper articles about us. They've marched against us. They've done a whole lot of ugly things. But you see what we have done, and that's not even the half of our service to children and to the needy in terms of our homeless shelters and the things that we've done over the years. And we will continue. And probably the lies and the smears and the ugly newspaper articles and the wicked spirits and the so-called I ain't for the black man, that is not going to go away. I don't expect it to go away. I don't. But I do tell you this, that we will succeed against all of that, for God is with us, and I am his servant.